Welcome back, friends. I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell thing. That would be very kind of you indeed. And I guess Mad Max Fury Road was something of a polarizing movie. Some people loved the visuals. Some people criticized it for being style over substance. But enough people loved it that they are making a prequel movie, and the trailer just dropped today, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, lots of other familiar faces in this as well. So I guess I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with this. This movie comes out in May 2024, but we're going to dive right in and watch the trailer, and then we're going to tell you what we think about it. So if you want to see what we think, stick around until the end. But for now,
let's go.
Let's do this.
Whatever you have to do. However long it takes. Promise me you'll find your way home. Furiosa. Give me this promise.
Oh wow, that's a cool effect.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
Oh, man.
The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic?
So the question is, do they have it in them to make it epic? What is it about Chris Hemsworth's accent? When he's actually speaking in an Australian accent, he sounds like he's doing a bad accent when it's his actual accent. Yeah, remember her? I almost don't. It's been so long since Fury Road, and I guess a lot of people are going to rewatch it, which is going to be good for Warner Brothers and HBO Max. But what did you think of the trailer for Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga?
So I was only vaguely aware that this was coming out until I was reminded by the trailer. I'm going to withhold judgment because it's hard to tell from that trailer. There was a fair bit in it, and it looks promising. I wasn't one of the people polarized by the movie. I was kind of in the middle, and there was a lot I enjoyed, a lot I was confused about. But enough people that whose opinions I value really rated it highly. So it's been something that I keep coming back to since it came out. I saw it again in a movie theater a few years ago. I just saw a lot that I hadn't seen the first time. I think the first time we watched it on TV, and I think it really benefited from seeing it on a big screen. I also read the book that came out, I think last year, was it Blood and Chrome? When all that stories about Tom Hardy and his bad behavior on set came out, I was just being nosy, really. But the book was genuinely really fascinating, and it gave me such a deeper appreciation of the movie. George Miller has been working on these Mad Max movies for so long, and hearing the story about the epic, talking about epic sagas, everything that he went through to get this movie, to get the original movie made, and then to get the Mad Max Fury Road made, It was incredible, not just what he went through, but how uncompromising he was, how he had a vision. And admittedly, by that movie, he had enough power and pull that he was able to kind of be inflexible on the certain visions that he had and didn't let the studios interfere in a way that I think would have damaged the movie. But it was fascinating just to kind of see the process, and that exactly what he didn't compromise on is what people really responded to, and just the editing choices that were made, and just the entire journey, down to things like the war rigs were actually practical vehicles that were built, and all of those, the race sections, all of those scenes were actually filmed in the desert with people on those giant war rigs, with them on those kind of scaffolding structures and on the wiggly poles. Just hearing about the safety precautions they took and kind of what happened when they failed and the lessons they learned. It's such an incredible book. If you've got any curiosity about this movie or about complicated movie making in general, kind of behind the scenes stuff, I definitely recommend it. But I guess going back to this trailer, it did look like they've probably done some similar practical effects with it, and George Miller obviously is involved again, so I'm hoping they've given him the same kind of creative control, because I do find that when you have someone creative, if they've got a really powerful vision about something, if the studios interfere, you just end up with this muddy mess. Whereas if they can trust the creative person enough to let them kind of manifest their vision, you end up with something really unconventional and powerful. But I do think this looks really promising, if only that they have stuck faithfully to kind of the practical effects and things.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do think there's something about seeing a director's vision on screen that, as you say, can be unconventional. People may not like it, and people didn't like, some people didn't like the first movie. But I got to say, though, I grew up loving the Mad Max movies. I'm a few years older, and I remember when, especially the second movie, and then I guess Thunderdome was just humongous. But people were just obsessed with it, and there were so many spin-offs. I used to read those Choose Your Own Adventure books, and there was a whole series that were based on the Mad Max universe. So I was so into it, and particularly for the cars, the cars rigged up with all the flamethrowers and machine guns and things. I just thought was absolutely fantastic, and just the whole post-apocalyptic world. So I always really enjoyed the visuals of just seeing that kind of recreated on the big screen. I would say my only criticism, there were moments in this trailer, and I'm going to need to go back and watch it, where you could definitely see a jarring transition from physical stunts and physical effects and physical environments to CGI that looked really underwhelming. And, they've got a long amount of time to be able to fix things like that before the movie actually makes it to theaters. So, and maybe it was just me. Maybe it was watching it on a TV, on a YouTube stream. So could be nothing, but I do want to keep an eye on the CGI on this, because like you say, the deserts and the sets look so impressive, and the real rigs, and then seeing it switch to a green screen is just it just doesn't look good on the eyes.
I was also wondering if that was one of the creative choices, because it did seem that possibly some of the bits that we saw in the trailer were maybe either fantasy sequences, dream sequences, something not set in the reality of the movie. So I do wonder if some of the scenes looking visually surreal were deliberate. Yeah,
maybe you're right. Maybe they are dream sequences, or some kind of fantasy land that isn't supposed to look consistent with the deserts and dunes that you see in the rest of it. Very true. I must admit, I thought Anya Taylor-Joy looked phenomenal as Furiosa in it. Chris Hemsworth was great. I just don't know what was going on with that voice at the end. But again, maybe that was a moment in time that we should overlook.
Blame the terrible nose.
Yeah. Maybe we've just been spoiled with so much Hemsworth hotness that seeing him all dolled up as a weird old bearded man maybe that was more jarring than any CGI could be. But I got to say, this looks really, really promising. And like I said at the beginning, I think it's going to push a lot of people to go back and watch Fury Road again, which, is a good thing. I mean, sometimes it takes a few years to let a movie percolate and go back and see the value in it. So maybe there'll be a resurgence of Fury Road as well. But hey, thank you to everyone who recommended that we check Furiosa out. Looks pretty promising so far. I guess we'll keep an eye as we get closer to May 2024 when this bad boy releases. But thanks for watching, and we will see you very soon, friends, on the next Nerd Safari.
Peace out, nerds.